still not cancelled.
Cancel culture's not a thing.
Not for us.
No one
no one
has
gives
been
a
cancelled.
fuck.
No one's been cancelled. It's just a bunch of straight white men deciding they're being cancelled when actually it's just that you can't say that shit anymore.
Oh, I've never been cancelled because my opinions are woke.
Do you know, I saw it. Oh, I'm going to get on my high horse. Not my high horse, but something really fucked me off, right? So Piers Morgan.
Getting fucked off? That doesn't sound right.
So Piers Morgan, right? And welcome to the podcast. Piers Morgan. He did an interview with James O'Brien a little while ago, and because
I keep trying to forget that Piers Morgan is a person.
Yeah, I had done, and then I was like, right, well, I'm going to just watch this one. He did an interview because he wrote this book about how like cancel culture is destroying the world and how bad it all is, and it's not fair.
I mean, to be fair, he walked off the show.
To be fair, he tapped the dead person's phone. So, yeah, and he was like, the first question, because it was like, oh, so what is it about people who are woke that you don't like? Do you not agree with, certain sentiments they hold or whatever? And he said, oh, well, the original meaning of the term woke, which, here reads, being aware of social and racial injustice in the world, I have absolutely no qualms with, and I quite support those ventures and that sort of thing. But, and then he just went off to be like, this new sort of reimagining of what the word means to be like super sensitive and what he's calling like the woke brigade and all that sort of shit. Like, that I really take offence to, and I was like, dickhead, you're probably 90% of that.
That's the thing. My favourite thing is where they say, I take offence to that. It's like,
Okay.
Welcome to the fucking party.
But then it was giving examples of like how woke culture is ruining the world, and one of the very few examples he could give was that Google had an egg on their logo for one day, and then some vegans complained, and Google took the picture of the egg down. And James O'Brien was like, why'd you give a shit?
That's the thing. I think generally the sort of, I guess, people our age, well, your age,
not your generation,
just give less of a shit about what other people do, because it doesn't what someone else does doesn't affect how my life goes generally, unless they stab me, in which case, well, I'm allowed to be offended unless they have a good reason, which they probably do, because
you're allowed to be offended and I'm allowed to pay them for their services. It's absolutely fine.
I didn't expect it, but I expect you to just do it yourself.
No, I'm earning now, so. Yeah, that was quite a digression. What are we doing? Outlander, which
also hasn't been cancelled.
Oh yeah, and the White Princess, which hasn't been cancelled but did finish. So there's that.
Yeah, there's a distinction between the two.
We have a lovely website which is called copilotspodcast.co.uk.
I know, we're imaginative.
Yep.
When choosing URLs.
Well, we very much like it, for it to do what it says on the tin, and that's what it is. You can follow us on Twitter, but we won't check it. You can follow us on Instagram, we won't check that. You can follow us on Facebook, and we definitely won't check that one either. So,
I mean, we'll get notifications.
But we'll ignore them.
I look at them. I sometimes accidentally click on the Twitter notifications.
Accidentally, yeah. Then immediately,
and then it takes me to the Codifiers one. I'm like, I don't care about all the people we follow there. Just going to double check who we follow.
I'll tell you who we do follow: Pod Bible
and us.
Oh no!
I clicked followers. That's a depressing number. Yeah, no one important.
Good. Yeah.
Oh no, that's
pleased about that. Listen to us waffle on about princesses and not Germans, Scottish people.
Yeah, no, the royal family are in the White Princess, not German yet.
No, not quite. Getting there, but not quite. So we sorted out your audio issues.
Yeah, I know all of my desperately terrible audio decisions.
Yes.
I was not a fan of your audio issues, though.
Oh well.
So, historical nonsense.
Historical nonce.
Hence.
A historical nonce. But fair to say, mixed reviews for this one.
Yeah, although probably not as. I was just about to be like, not as mixed reviews as the films we watched over the weekend, but no, they were all good, weren't they, Mummy?
No, they weren't all good.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you didn't enjoy The Gentleman.
I hated that film. I hated it so much. It was ridiculous.
It was a very Guy Ritchie film, though, which I think is your main problem with it.
Do you know what? That might be it. No, it's saying that, like, he did the Sherlock Holmes film. I liked. I haven't seen the second one, but the first one I was like, yeah, this is all right actually.
Oh, and the second one you get to see Stephen Fry's ass.
Oh, well, I must put it on the list.
Yes. Do it.
Where are we first? Should we go to Scotland first?
Yeah, I know. I feel like that because you wanted to go first. It's the one that you liked the least.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Okay, so Outlander. It's a time travel-y show, although
I don't know if it's necessarily a time travel show because it's so far she time travels once.
well, yeah. So it's a time travel show. She has time traveled.
Yeah, but it's not like she hopped in a TARDIS. She, touched a rock.
Look, they're very dangerous. Those rocks. Okay. Oh my god.
Although to be fair, if you go to a Halloween festival in the Highlands, the fuck do you expect to happen?
I do like that it was like they were like, oh yeah, it's a Samhain thing, because that's in Halloween, the movie series. There's this weird thread where it turns out that Michael Myers was actually raised by a cult to like just be a bit of a gimp and kill people, but it's called the Cult of Thorn, and they come around on Samhain, which is the pronunciation of Samhain, which becomes Halloween somehow.
By Christianity destroying pagan holidays. That's how.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, I thought this was a bit odd. Like, it was okay, but it just wasn't engaging enough.
I actually didn't hate it. I think I'm considering that I might watch season 1 and see how I feel. Just, 'cause I think it's weird to see a show like this set in
Scotland.
Scotland.
That is one thing I did like about it is that it's a location that you don't really see represented very much beyond, like, your Bravehearts and that. And I know Braveheart's earlier than this, but historic Scotland is not commonplace for settings, really.
I mean, well, that's what you get when the BBC makes most of our period pieces, and the English don't like to be reminded that they never conquered Scotland.
It's good that you bring that up at every opportunity, though, because
it really. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the important battles we never lost. In the same way that I forget about all those Six Nation games where Scotland lose to England.
Yeah, but what's more important, like actual war or a football game?
Football is irrelevant. Rugby is basically a war.
Well, they kick a ball, so football in it, I guess. No, I'm joking. I do really like rugby as well.
Yeah, that was almost American to be like, there's a ball. Doesn't matter what you use to touch it. It's football. Although there is a lot of kicking in rugby. But yeah, it was weird because I couldn't. When I first saw the little Scottish town, I was convinced that it's a place that I've driven through.
What, Inverness?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not 100% sure that is Inverness because when I've been to Inverness, it don't look like that.
I have actually been to Inverness.
So, have you been to the airport?
Yes. Well,
It's tiny.
I'd get there somehow. I don't really remember it, to be honest, which probably tells you what you need to know about it, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
I didn't notice.
Inverness it's an airport where you walk off the plane and you're almost out the other side. It's not like your Gatwick where you've got like 3,000 miles to walk before you get your bags back.
So you're telling me there's no spoons at Inverness Airport?
No, you just go and drink your alcohol in the street like a proper person. And yeah, I get it. It is. That's the thing that I really liked about it, is that it's set in Scotland. Which
it's hardly a surprise, really, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, right. So yeah. So we should probably give it a bit of context. So Claire is a nurse in World War Two. The war ends. She meets up again with her husband because they've been apart during the war. They go off for a second honeymoon to Scotland, and
pick those stunning locations.
To be fair, it does look very
to
pretty.
be fair, it is very pretty, and
I
are planning to go there in the summer.
This is the thing. I now want to go and see that stone. I can't remember the what was it called? Gammon thing, cock and gammon or something.
Yeah.
What's it called? Cocknammon Rock. Is that it? Yes, Cocknammon Rock. Oh, it's a fictional rock formation. Bollocks.
Well, we can go see where they CGI'd it in.
You'll find Flotterstone near Pennyquick, part of the Pentland Hills Regional Park. Oh, it's in Edinburgh.
Yeah, also, do you know how much of Scotland is a regional park? It's most of it.
I was going to say a lot of it. Oh, so was it a CGI rock? Because that's kind of annoying if it is. Oh, fuck, I think it is. Bollocks! That's really annoying.
To be fair to it, if it is a CGI rock, they've done a fucking good job.
Well, yeah.
I want to go see that rock. It turns out we can just find a picture of it and go, that's as close as you're ever going to get.
Yeah, never mind the Millennium Falcon, he wants to go see a fucking rock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, that's what her husband wanted to do. It was just like,
True.
I like history, let me go look at some rocks.
History's old, I like old shit.
And she's got, I have the gift for you, I'm going to go be your granny.
Oh yeah, that's definitely happening, isn't it? Is that she is her own grandmother.
Well, so I think there's a scene where they're talking about like his ancestor, who she meets upon immediately after arriving in the past. She meets her husband's relative, who's a bit of a cunt.
Yeah. Like straight away, he's like, oh,
straight away I was like, wait,
time.
is this how she becomes part of the family tree? Instantly. But then she gets saved, and but there's a scene where they're in, I was about to say present day, in 1945, when they're talking about how his ancestor was like roaming around those parts, but he always seemed to escape. I think she's going to spend a lot of the show trying to make sure that the Scottish people, one, don't kill her, and two, don't kill her husband's ancestor. And I think that's going to be the crux of like season 1.
That would be funny, wouldn't it? If she does come across him again, and she's like, "Oh fuck you," and then just immediately, "Oh no, it's your kids, Marty."
Yeah, because it's weird. Because I'm assuming that maybe between seasons they'll bring her back to her present and then be like, "And you went to another Druid festival, you touched a stone, and now you're back in the past."
Do you think it's going to go anywhere else other than Scotland? Because I don't think it will. And also, do you think she's going to time travel again, or is that the one and only time?
I think that maybe The only thing I can see is her trying to get back to the present and going further into the past.
Like I mean, you might not know this, but like Army of Darkness. No, Evil Dead 2. That happens at the end of Evil Dead 2.
Yes, which sets up Army of Darkness.
Yes.
These are films which I have seen.
Oh, good. I'm so pleased.
I'm pretty sure you made me watch them.
Made? I didn't make you watch them. You wanted to. You wanted to because you know that it's they're really good films.
Yeah, in the same way that I made us set up this podcast so that I could make you watch Gilmore Girls.
The long con.
Yeah, the long con that we just got out of the way in like season 2 or 3. But so or maybe she lives it out, and maybe other people come back to join her from the present, and she has to be like the wise old sage who's just like, look, I know it's weird, but we live here now. But I think it could be a bit of fun. I don't think it's ever going to be like the best show in the world.
No, I think this is going to fall into that category which quite a lot of the shows like this do, like just the ones I'm not going to remember that well. Other than like, oh yeah, that'll be the Scottish one, the Scotch one, the Scottish play. That was, yeah, that was probably going to be the only thing I remember about it, and the fact that there was like, time travel in it. So I could not think, I could not think of the words for time travel.
Yeah, I'm trying. Apart from like the history thing, I think that I found some other sort of link between them that was. I feel like it was probably Game of Thrones. There's probably someone in each of these who's been in Game of Thrones. I know who it is in the other one. I know who it is.
Yeah. Let's find out. There's got to be someone.
Yeah,
this show is still going on.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. It's still. Yeah, there's another season coming out in a couple of months.
I'm just having a quick Scooby down and just seeing what like the last line of each series is. Oh wow, that's a big one.
Do they, as I expect them to, get more and more ridiculous?
Well, I mean, they okay. So this answers that question. They do not stay in Scotland.
I found the link. Tully's brother and sister.
I can't remember who the Tullys are.
So Mr. Tobias is Edmure Tully, and his sister's in the other one, played by what's her fucking name? Michelle something or other, was in Harry Potter as well. Hermione's mum.
Catelyn Stark.
Yeah. That was really easy. Yeah, Super in Game of Thrones. Doesn't even matter, they're both history shows.
We'll go with that then.
But I think I'll probably watch some more of it. Not to. But the thing, I don't think it's going to be one of those ones that I'm like, I will watch all of it. I probably will watch all of it, but not trying to.
No, I don't think this is going to be. I don't think this is one I'm going to continue on with. I think it took a long time to show its hand. Like,
I thought she was going to go back in time, and that was going to be the end of the first episode.
Oh my god! And suddenly cut to in Scotland, and that's the end of it.
Or because they could have cut it when she sees, what's his name, Randall or whatever, the
English.
Yeah, when she sees him by the river and just goes, Frank, and then cut, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
that would have been fine.
But no, they had to have an attempted rape.
Well, I guess you have to sort of set the tone of like, there's going to be quite a bit of fighting.
Yeah, I think so. But also, that was the payoff with the whole. Oh, this would be a perfect place. You know, the English patrol would be the perfect place for the for the English to ambush us. I thought that was paid off very, very quickly.
Yeah, But then I guess there must be a little bit of like, because they're setting her up as like, I guess they set her husband up as like he's a big old history nerd, and she's just like, I like it, it's fine. But then I think there'll be more and more of that where she's just like, I remember this historical thing, probably should try not to change that, but also I don't want to die.
But like, it's a shame. Like if it was quite a well-known period, that would be good, wouldn't it? Because then you could be like, oh well, I'll just place a bet. You just do the Back to the Future thing, just place loads of bets.
Yeah, but then I think it'd be less interesting. I think the interesting thing is they can do kind of what they want because no one. Well, I say no one. Famously, it's not a very well recorded or research. Well, not research, but it's not a well-known bit of history.
What, Scotland?
Yeah, well, at least this bit. Some of it's very well documented.
Well, yeah, you're watching the show, obviously.
Yeah, and I quite like there's just random bits of Gaelic in it that I just don't understand.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
It's like, they've tried.
Yeah, I think for me it probably took a bit too long to get to the time travel bit because it felt like it was towards the end of the episode. Where realistically, I think it probably was about halfway, but the first half felt very slow to me.
Yeah, but are you glad that they didn't do amnesia?
Yes. Oh my god, I was very worried. When the first thing was, it's funny what you remember. I was like, don't do that.
And it's just like, I saw that vase. And Jesus, how nice vase it was.
I really would like a vase. Can I have a vase, please?
And then she goes back in time and she's like, Jesus Christ, I should have bought that vase. I wonder, would that vase have stopped me of touching these stones? Don't fucking think it would. Unless you carried it out to the stones and just smashed it on the stone and went, I'm not touching it. Where's the vase gone? Bet that's gone back in time. But then, I guess a show without time travel, but a show that takes us back in time. The other one, White Princess.
Yes, this one I liked more. The trouble is when you've seen Game of Thrones, and you know that Game of Thrones borrows heavily from the Wars of the Roses.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like, it's all like, oh, this is quite familiar territory. And then fucking Catelyn Stark shows up.
I mean, did you see the, intro cinematic? Because that's what made me go, oh.
I did, but I can't remember it.
It was...
Is it just basically...
It was quite...
Bum, dum, da, da, bum, da, da, but they just changed one note.
It wasn't quite that on the nose.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So Skype dropped out again. I've done a couple of big claps to show that this is where it's all gone wrong.
Okay, cool. I just kept recording, so...
Oh no, I'm still recording, but you'll have to cut this bit out.
Yeah. Well, we can do a big clap to go back in.
Yeah, okay. Yes, you were talking about the intro sequence.
Yes.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Well, as I was saying before, your Skype rudely interrupted us.
These audio problems that we've definitely sorted.
Yeah, I mean, we can't fix your internet. That's not really in our capacity.
That's the thing. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. It's a wired connection, so it's very strange. And like you said, we were on Skype for 14 hours the other day, and it was fine then.
Yeah.
Yes, intro sequence. It's reminiscent of Game of Thrones.
It is quite Thronesy. But then, I guess a lot of more shows are doing those big cinematic intros. And maybe
I do miss watching a show like that. That it was that exciting. That it had the credits. The opening titles were so long that you're like, whoa, let's get to it.
Oh, wait until you watch Wheel of Time. I think you will like it.
I heard a very, very negative review of Wheel of Time the other day, so I'm intrigued to watch it. We're not doing that till later in the year, when hopefully the
Lord of the Rings.
They ain't got a title for it yet.
The Lord of the Rings. I don't think there's an official title for it.
That would be funny if they are literally just doing a remake.
They're not. It's all set in the first or second age, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Lenny Henry's in it apparently.
I don't know if he knows that Tolkien didn't really do much colour.
But more.
I mean, he made one of the main characters whiter.
Yeah, Morpeth Clark's in it, and she's in St Maud, and that was my favourite film of 2020. So she can do no wrong, unless she does it wrong. No, she won't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's very much how I feel about Florence Pugh.
I actually thought this was really quite good. So it shows Henry VII, isn't it? He's just defeated Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth, and he's claiming all the bits of he's claimed the throne, and it's sort of it showed it really. I thought it really conveyed a sense of sudden change really well. There's in the first half there's sort of banners dropping everywhere, and he says, right, we'll take this down, we're not having anything white in England, which I thought good luck, mate.
Wait till you hear about Brexit.
And it was all sort of the scene where you get all the family of York, the York family, all sort of gather around, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? We don't know what's happening, but a load of my brothers have just got killed, so what are they doing with us here? And then Henry takes the Princess Elizabeth, or Lizzie, who's Jodie Comer in this, who also can do no wrong. She's not best pleased at the thought of having to marry the person who... It's not so that he actually killed Richard III, did it? It's just he died at the battle.
Yeah.
And it's sort of about... It's a show about small rebellions and things like that, isn't it? It's more... The show's more about the women in it than the kings and the lords and the princesses, isn't it? It's more... the mothers scheming against each other and the princess scheming against the king.
Weirdly, it's quite Games of Thronesy.
Well, yeah.
almost the fact that who's she playing? Margaret puts her son on the throne, so obviously he's going to have a wedding that he's going to die at because that's her thing. And yeah, it's a bit. It was good. I enjoyed it. I probably won't watch that much more of it because.
See, I was more tempted to watch more of this than the other one.
I don't know. It just. I don't care about the thing. I quite like a historical drama. I quite like period pieces.
Well, you've just watched all of Downton, haven't you?
I know. And there's just a bit of history that I couldn't really give less of a shit about.
I'm a bit like that. Particularly English history. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, it's mostly around that sort of Tudory period that I don't really enjoy. And this is just we are the Tudors. Hello. I'm fuck off. But at the same time, it was well put together, and I enjoyed watching it. And I suppose there's not that much of it.
That's the thing. Is there really isn't? It's
I could smash it out just because it goes on a spreadsheet now. And also, it is interesting to see. I guess it's probably that more the back room dramas. Looking at running a country from the management point of view.
You said it's like the W1A of Tudor times.
Yeah, because it's doing that same thing that Game of Thrones does, where it goes, you see those people who look like they've got the power? Not them.
No.
So yeah, I could probably spend 8 hours fucking around with this.
Yeah, see, when you put it like that... To be fair, Jodie Comer, I think everybody agrees that we'll watch her doing absolutely anything. You've seen all of Killing Eve, haven't you?
Yeah, as long as there's only 3 episodes.
For fuck's sake.
I'm getting through it.
It's so
slowly.
good. So good. Yeah, like, I remember, like, seeing Philippa Gregory books all over the place and being like, yeah, like, it's cool, like, historical fiction, I don't mind it, but I'm really very bad at remembering names and dates of people and stuff that actually happened. So, like, the number of documentaries I've seen on, like, you know, the samurai in Japan and like Norse mythology and history and stuff like that, it just doesn't stay in my head in the same way that a fictional film does, and I don't really understand why. So,
yeah, that's the thing. I know
good...
far more about Game of Thrones than I know about probably most of British history.
Yeah.
And like, same with Lord of the Rings, I probably know more about that than I would ever want to know about British history.
That's the thing, yeah.
And and then when you have something that's like, here's British history but a bit fictiony, I'm like, I'll remember the fictiony stuff. I'll remember that one of these characters is called Ned, and I'm like, haha.
I was about to say that.
And that's the thing I remember. I remember there was someone who worked in a stable who was called Ned. But when was it set? No idea. Where was it set? London, I guess. And they talked about Winchester, and I was like, oh, been there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, you'll get married at Winchester. And let me tell you, that cathedral they're at, ain't in Winchester.
Ooh, drama.
Well, the grounds certainly isn't. The inside, I'm like, well, it could be, because it's got the same floor, but it doesn't look big enough.
Do you know, the trouble is, when you're doing a historical drama and you want to get something that looks like the inside of Winchester Cathedral, you can look at pictures of the inside and go, we could build that. If you want to get a shot from the outside, they've sort of built a city around it.
Well, here we go. So, principal photography began in June 2016 with locations including Bradford-on-Avon, Bristol, Berkeley Castle, Gloucester Cathedral, Lecoq, Salisbury Cathedral, which has the highest spire of all the cathedrals in certainly England, and Wells. So it's definitely not Winchester.
Oh, that's weird. They were doing a lot of filming in the Palace of Westminster, so did they not go to London?
I don't think they did.
Because again, awkwardly, built a fucking city around it.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in the cathedral grounds in Winchester. It's not Winchester.
It's quite a weird place for teenagers to hang out.
Well, I mean, like, it was the only sort of free thing you could do after college, so that's what.
I want to get closer to God and cider.
Yeah, I definitely preferred White Princess this week, I think.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is that I preferred it, but I'm not going to watch either of them.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And not just because one of them is about Scotch history.
But
mainly because of that.
maybe we'll find out how they make whiskey. I mean, I know. They put the magic water in a tub, and then it's whiskey.
It turns into whiskey. That's how I make my whiskey anyway.
Oh, that would explain the bathtub full of water.
So are you going to carry on with either of these?
I might carry on with both of them. I might give them both the same amount of time, give them 8 episodes, and then report back and tell you which one was shite.
I reckon I know which one might be which. But yeah, I probably won't. Let's be honest, I never do. So
that's the thing. You sometimes you have the best of intentions.
Look at Marianne. Marianne was the first episode we did this year, and I'm like, that is probably the best show we've ever done. I still haven't watched any more of it.
Episode 2 is pending. Well, that's the thing. While we were recording, ordered Black Sails. I haven't seen episode 2 yet.
That was... Hang on a minute. That was season 1, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
I was hoping it would be like early days. There we go, number 14.
Oh, I did the same with Channel Zero. Haven't seen episode 2 of that yet.
See, I did. I watched all of it apart from the season finale.
Do you know what I mean? If I buy something on DVD, I'm never going to watch it again. But if it's on a streaming service, there is a better chance.
Oh, I'm like completely the other way around.
Well, that's because you're a boomer.
Says you. You're fucking older than me.
No, I'm older than you, but a boomer is a mentality.
It's a life choice.
You're like, give me physical media and a Zimmer frame.
Our next episode I'm very excited about, because we've gone back to what you like to refer to as foreign muck, and we are going to be...
I think we can, at this point we can both agree that we both refer to it as foreign muck.
Well, you instigated it and you voted for it. You're not racist, but you voted for it. We're going to be watching Lupin and Spirale. So Lupin on Netflix, which is the Omar Sy Gentleman Thief show. And
I'm disappointed. I thought it was going to be about. I thought it was a Harry Potter Expanded Universe thing.
No, afraid not, mate. Afraid not. I've just realised it's not called Spirale in France. It's called Engrenage. But it's called Spiral over here, and it was shown on BBC 4, and apparently it's very good. And actually,
have you heard BBC 3 is coming back to telly?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah, that weird little internet experiment probably didn't go that well, or it went really well. And they're like, oh, we need to get this on
BBC 3's
telly.
Launch date revealed as channel returns after. Oh, fuck off! Yes, I'm using an ad blocker. Get over it. Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's cool. On the 1st of February. Oh, great. Oh, it's really close. Well, that is exciting.
Yeah. I thought that's a nice little tidbit. It'll be back by the time that this episode goes out.
Oh, yeah. Well, it might be off again. We're going to
you never know with that. Maybe they'll cancel BBC One next. Get that news off. It's depressing.
Yeah. Spiral and Lupin next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. As am I. I like foreign stuff.
You liar!